Hello and welcome everybody to today's video. Welcome to the Vee Academy. My name is Crumbrion, Professor Crumbrion, if you would. And today, we're going to be taking a look at a wonderful game that we played on Pokemon Trading Card Game Live. And we'd be happy to get your reactions to it. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content. If you want to follow me and watch games in real time, check me out on twitch.tv/Crumbrion. For now, let's go check out the game. Thanks for watching.
3, 2, 1, go!
Or you're struggling to get set up, then it feels so horrible. It honestly feels so horrible. Unfortunately. Which is most of the time. Because if you can't get your Frostlasses out and you're just sitting there turn after turn wasting potential damage, it feels so bad.
Spawn more overlords.
Spawn more overlords. Latias. This is probably going to be a second Pidgey game. No, it's a second Charmander. For sure. Second Charmander. I have no doubt that Pidgey's going to immediately get blown up here. Pidgey's going to instantly get destroyed, unfortunately. Oh, it's Blocklax. Oh, thank God. Thank Christ. That was an actual deck. Blocklax we don't care too much about, to be honest.
I've got balls of steel.
I've got balls of steel. This one we don't care too much about this matchup, per se. Although the Latias is a big weakness in their list. Most of them had removed like all of the stuff from like Rotom and shit. Because it's just that's a huge weak point. Huge weak point for them. How can I discard? I can discard some Duskulls. I can Thornton. That'd be nice. That would be nice. Literally not faced a Blocklax until I started playing Charizard. Like, there is 100% some kind of matchmaking that pairs up shit decks against specific decks. Guess we're gonna load up a Pidgey, so we can attack with Pidgeot too. I know they're just gonna counter catch us, but take off their free retreats from the board before they scoop it. Get it before they scoop it. Counter catcher's a thing. Oh no. Oh dear. Once we get Pidgeot out, this is going to be a lot easier of a matchup, so. I really do want to keep Thornton. I guess it's the fire energy. We can pal pad bosses back in. Let's get both of them back in. Yeah, man, Defiance Vest, you got me. Blight Blazer. That is huge help, actually. Don't have to worry about that. Go Steelstone for sure. Do Palpad. We want to get those back in right now. Cool. That works. Works. I know he's putting down Defiance Vest to bait out me attack, like using vacuum or something, so then we'll get rid of that for sure. Because they're gonna have like some sort of bullshit cape or something. That's good too, actually. Don't want to use that yet. Actually, I should use this. Just get rid of the Rotom permanently, and then get rid of this. I'll do a little bit more. Yeah, Urban's good. Comes another counter catcher. We want to blow up a Duskull so that we can Thornton it for another Duskull, ultimately. Wish we had more ability to get rid of Pokemon, because we're going to be stuck with another Charmander, but... Hero's Cape, I knew that was coming out. What a shock. What a surprise. You also have Canceling Clone. So. We're chilling. I really hope that it doesn't get tossed. No, we don't have Canceling Clone anymore. Never mind. When did that get tossed? We use that. Is that to start? Oh, I had to Ultra Ball it, yeah. That's too bad. Don't have Canceling. Classic, gonna sit here for 20 years, asshole. Thornton a Pidgey away. And then we're kind of chilling. Now they can put more charms and shit on these and that won't matter. Pretty much all of our tricks are done now, unfortunately. All of our tricks are out, or we're out of our bag of tricks at the moment. We have to Super Rod the Dusclops back in. Oh, too bad your Defiance Vest doesn't work. Oops. You took a prize, unwillingly. Oops. Not Celine. Oh no. The meddling memo here would be very nice because we can meddling memo them and then they get the cards back, sure. Oh, they got the cape back, yeah. They get the cape back, but can't draw it this turn. And that doesn't matter anyways because we have another Dusclops. That real quick. Perfect. Yeah. We put the cape on the bottom of their deck now, because we know it was in the top two cards. We put the cape on the bottom. They're gonna have to Arven for their cape, and even if they do, it's game over anyways. Yep, GG's. X Factor, hello. We're just dismantling a Snorlax deck right now. Counter catch for my Charmander. Pidgeot. No big deal. No, we don't have any rare candies left either. That's fine. We can play this slow, actually. Yeah, we can play this slow.
You gotta give him that hawk.
It's only a game.
Spit on that thing. You
All right, bring me your jewelry and I will give you
Flawless
cash.
victory.
Oh, yeah!
Oh, yeah. Light Blazer. Well, they're going to have to retreat the Snorlax to Ogre Pond here. If they do, they give me a free retreat cost, and then we just grab boss. No, didn't want to attack. I have game. If I grab Night Stretcher, I have Dusknoir in the discard pile. I don't want to give them a reason to penny the Snorlax. I want the Snorlax to stay in the active so we can KO it next turn. I don't have canceling Cologne, so I don't really have a good way of getting around the Ogre Pond, but I do have bosses, so it's also fine. Which, now we just win. I believe. We should just win now, because we can Charizard and we can attack this. The entire reason we left Charmeleon available. And we didn't, so we had Thorntoned out the Pidgey, so we could get Dusclops out, or Duskull out. And so they have no good options to countercatcher anymore, because they're all attacking options. Completely dismantled. We had game either way. Either we search out the Night Stretcher to get the Dusknoir, or we, yeah. You know what I mean. Basically, that's how it goes. It was game either way. So they countercatcher that. Yeah, GG's. They countercatcher that, it's fine. We don't have to worry about it. We're not going to boss up the Ogre Pond. We want them to put up the Ogre Pond if they're going to put up the Ogre Pond, but they didn't want to, so I'm fine with that. It was pretty much a slow move. So they put down a bunch of tools because they wanted us to burn our vacuum so they could put down Hero's Cape. Which, again, it's very obvious that's what they were doing, but again, I don't want to have to deal with, I don't want to, we had ways to deal with Hero's Cape and get around it anyway, so it wasn't really a big deal. But the Defiance Vest was being annoying, so I don't want to leave damage counters on the board so they can penny the Snorlax. Just not a good idea for me, so. But no, pretty clean play around. Ended up taking the 2 prizes easily on the Latias because they left it out instead of getting rid of it. Again, one of the biggest weaknesses are the EX Pokemon, so not sure why this person decided to put more EX Pokemon in, but they ended up filling up our bench too with accompanying Flute, so they had our bench full of Flute. We re-added Collapse Stadium to this list, actually just before I started playing today. So Collapse Stadium gets rid of the Rotom. I think we No, Collapse Stadium, we got rid of the Pheasantipity, and then we Turrowed something else. I think we Turrowed the Rotom, and then we ended up using the Vacuum to get rid of Rotom permanently so it couldn't be Erica'd. And then we had Thornton in hand, so all we had to do was make sure a Duskull got in the discard pile, and then we could Thornton out the other Pidgey, because they put a Pidgey on our bench too. So we had the Duskull, we put the Duskull down, eventually got it to be a Dusclops, popped it, blew up the first Hero's Cape, and that got our Duskull into the discard pile, which allowed us to Thornton, and which removed the other Pidgey from the field, and so now we have just we had a Charmander, a Duskull, a Charizard, and a Pidgeot, and so all three of our attackers were good, and then we have one that we can just get rid of at any point in time. So it was that was pretty simple. It was a pretty simple play around. Pretty easy game against a Snorlax. I know a lot of people are really frustrated with Snorlaxes, but honest to God, like it's really not that difficult when you're playing like Duskull and or Dusknoir and in Charizard, and you can start reaching over the 200 barrier after forcing them to take one prize with a Dusknoir or Duskull, whatever, Dusclops. The other part that I did here, so like this is why I love Meddling Memo, and I wanted to show this off, and I'm glad that we did. So they just Silened this turn, and so they put Hero's Cape and Nest Ball on the top of their deck, right? So they put Hero's Cape and Nest Ball right on the top of their deck. They just did that with a Silene the previous turn. So we know that we have Iono in hand, and Iono's just going to give them a Hero's Cape. So we Pidgeot searched out a Meddling Memo, which it shuffles their hand into their deck and puts it on the bottom of their hand, and they draw that many cards. So now we know they have Meddling Memo in hand, they have their Nest Ball in hand. Now we play Iono. We slam them for Iono, and then they draw 5 cards. So now the big hand that they had, the 7 cards they had, are at the bottom, and they drew 7 more, and then we forced them to put those 7 on the bottom. So now 14 of their cards are pinned to the bottom of their deck now, and now they only have 5 cards. So we're forcing them to have an Arven, which they had Arven, because, you know, why wouldn't they? But we forced them to play an Arven when otherwise they wouldn't have had to. They would have just had it in hand. So they get their Nest Ball and they get the Hero's Cape. These are the 2 they wanted. And so they have to commit an Arven to doing that, and they have to commit a supporter to doing it. So that means that's not an Airy. This isn't like a Judge or an Iono or something else that hand disrupts us. This has to be what they want. So that was good for us because they wanted to get the Cornerstone Ogerpon down. Never ended up using it, but that could have been like the Arven could have been literally anything else that could have really screwed us, but they had to do that because of the steps that we took with the Meddling Memo and Iono to make sure that they didn't have access to the Cape, and they desperately needed the Cape. So that's why we went out of our way to do that. Having Pidgeot in a Snorlax matchup it makes it so much easier because you can just grab whatever you want and just have multiple setup turns to do what you need to, because you know they're not taking prizes. So, yeah, pretty easy, simple matchup.